Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 2021 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Capricorn be affected by the September 2021 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. At our root, we have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. If we're born on the cusp with Sagittarius or have Sagittarius within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully at our root. And then we have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. This is connected with the full moon in Aries on the 20th of October, the next full moon. But also if we have this within our natal chart, it's coming through very powerfully at our root. We have the Five of Fire and the Priestess, which is in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Sun coming through. But I love it. It's the moon here depicted, the full moon depicted here with the woman. So it's the power of the moon and the sun really coming together very beautifully. We then have the Five of Pentacles. The repeat of the number 5 is showing us that we have an intense lesson that is coming to a head, but also that things are going to be easier than we had anticipated. We have the Seven of Swords reversed, secrets being revealed. All right, as we're looking at our hearts, as we're looking at a poverty mentality, as we're looking at like, why aren't I getting ahead the way that I want to? There's a sense of secrets being revealed, things coming to light, being able to move forward, releasing a burden. That's going to be really nice. And then we have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. If we have Scorpio within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully in the public arena. There's also going to be a sense of being reborn. And then we have the Ace of Swords, which is God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you this gift of clarity, of insight, of cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, and being able to claim the voice, being able to understand our mind more clearly. There's a sense of like cobwebs being cut away, and now we're like, oh, well, this is it, isn't it? So like, this is the intensity, this is the power, this is the beauty that I am supposed to be expressing. Now, during this full moon is on the 20th of September, and it is the full moon in Pisces. It's the harvest moon. It's a powerful moon. And it says here, balance spirituality and practicality. So it has this kind of like pull towards the opposites during this time, which makes sense because, we have the spiritual, we have the practical, and sometimes they don't seem to go together. But the sun is opposite the moon, and so that always brings into focus during a full moon opposites, our wants versus our needs, everybody else's wants versus what we want, everybody else's needs versus what we need. And so opposites are going to come into play. Now, Pluto, Pisces is ruled by Neptune. And with Pisces being ruled by Neptune, this brings beauty in the spiritual. And so during this time, we need to open our hearts and open ourselves to understanding that we're going to be seeing beauty just a little bit differently. It's going to have a spiritual undercurrent to it. It's going to have a spiritual pull to it. And what's going to really happen during this time is that Neptune holds sway over our dreams. And so a lot of revelations are going to come to us through our dreams, but also a lot of ideas are going to come to us through our dreams. They don't have to necessarily be revelations, but it's like, oh, but this has brought this to light that I've been hiding away from, or this has made me aware of this. And so that's going to be really intense. But what we're also going to see is that we kind of want to be in a dreamlike state during this time. We're going to think, I don't really like the tribulations, the troubles, the hardships of the world. I want to escape from that. And what Spirit is saying here is just be very mindful. Be very mindful, because we can fall into habits of addiction. We can fall into habits of, that were very harmful to us, that were used as coping mechanisms when we were younger, or, even to this day, that we have to be mindful that they don't take hold of us. And it's not us, embracing and being empowered by our dreams and by what we want. So do be very, very mindful about this during this time. Now, this is going to also be a time where we are our most spiritual and compassionate. So our boundaries are going to be the thinnest, which sounds very interesting, because you would think, like, if you were the most spiritual, the most compassionate, you would have these boundaries built around you to be able to help more people. It's going to be like, no, it's going to be that you're like completely opened. And if you don't learn how to set these boundaries in your heart, in your soul, in yourself, you're just going to be drained, Capricorn. And you need to really be mindful of that during this time, to set these boundaries and to make sure that these boundaries aren't thin and easily washed away. So doing energy cleansing and making sure that we're releasing all negative energy, especially around our heart chakras, is going to be really, really, really imperative for us. Now, the full moon always brings family, friends, and close relationships into focus. What we're going to see here during this time is our intuition and our emotional awareness is at its peak. So embrace it. Embrace what we're feeling, embrace what we're thinking, follow those threads down, but be mindful of not going too deep, because we're going to get into Mercury squared Pluto in just a moment, which has a tendency of us going just a little bit too deep, a little bit too far into things. But first we have Mercury trine Jupiter, which is absolutely amazing. So with Mercury trine Jupiter, it brings us optimism, generosity, good luck, and good news. It brings us to this point where our instincts are just on point. It brings us to this place where it's like we see things clearly and how to set them up for the future, how to move ourselves forward, and how to get to where it is that we want to be. This is a great time for networking. It's a great time for socializing. It's a great time for opening up the door. But again, we have Mercury squared Pluto, which is a different energy. It's a bit more of a more negative energy. It has its benefits. We dive deeper into things. This is a great time for research and work and to, set up the skills that we need. Excuse me, if we want to make a class or if we want to, start a project, this is the time and this is the energy that we want to harness to be able to fully access, there we go, our intensity. But this brings severe intensity. Like, we only want to have really deep conversations. Excuse me, just going to take a sip of water. We only want to have really deep conversations. We think about things deeply and we want to be surrounded by deep thinkers. We're going to have a tendency to fall down the rabbit hole. And when we fall down the rabbit hole in things, it's just going to completely consume us. And we have to be very mindful, because we have to be very mindful of negative energy around us during this time. Because again, remember, our boundaries are thin. We have to be mindful of what we're falling into and how deep we're going and how much we're putting on ourselves and why. So with Mercury squared Pluto, it brings us this intensity that if we learn how to harness it, and if we can harness it in a very positive way, it makes us almost unstoppable. But if we can't, if we dive deep into things and find that we lose ourselves into it, we have to pull back. We have to kind of, step back from things and say, okay, why is this draining me? Why is this overwhelming? Why is this making me feel sick or sad or whatever? Now, Jupiter semi-sextile Pluto is going to be fantastic in helping us balance this, because with Jupiter semi-sextile Pluto, it helps us soften the energy of Mercury squared Pluto and align with the energy of success of Mercury trine Jupiter. This brings powerful spiritual and personal growth and the ability to create wealth and personal abundance and achievements. So this is going to be a time where we can really see ourselves moving forward towards success, really see ourselves going after things. But we just have to be mindful of not diving too deep or not embracing escapism. On the 6th of October, we have the new moon in Libra, and it says a new romantic cycle begins. And so we're going to see the scales being balanced. We're going to see doors opening. Now with this new romantic cycle beginning, we're going to go deeper into this in its own reading, in another reading, in and of itself. Then we have the full moon in Aries on the 20th of October, which is the hunter's moon. So here we have the time where all the hunters are called in, the time of harvest, the time of gathering. And yet then on the next full moon, it's going to be the time for the hunters to go back out to gather and to, and to bring the protein, the nourishment, the fat that is needed to survive the winter. And so here a fiery climax approaches. There's something that has been building that now it is finally time for. Now it can be going after the hunt. It can be, sustaining prosperity. We're going to see that in the next full moon reading. Now during this time and on the 20th of September, it's all about balance. It's all about bringing the spiritual and the practical into balance with this full moon. It's all about bringing ourselves into balance. And so temperance is all about balance. We have the saber-toothed tiger and the mouse. They seem incongruous. They seem like they don't belong together, and yet they are beautifully paired. They're beautifully paired because each is fierce in its own way and each can go where the other cannot. And this is going to be a time where our conflicting energy actually winds up being a beautiful pairing for us, opening up doors, gaining us insight, gaining us understanding, having us see things in a different way and in a different light, so that it brews in us success, it brews in us prosperity, and it moves us towards the emperor. It moves us towards claiming our throne. It moves us towards determination and focus and ideas. It also lets us know that we're going to be strongly pulled by the full moon in October, guiding us towards the hunt, guiding us towards the success, guiding us towards the conquering. And this is going to be a time where we're building towards that energy. We're opening things up. We're moving things forward. We're gaining a deeper understanding. And as we do so, we face the Five of Wands. Now we're also claiming a voice we thought we lost, and claiming a power to embrace what we want that we didn't think we had. We thought, oh, this has to be for somebody else. It's like, no, this is for me. And with the Five of Fire, we have this intensity. Now here it is this beautiful scene, this scene of autumn, excuse me, the changing of the leaves, the butterflies, the transformation, the moving into a next stage. But in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Five of Wands is conflict. And so there's always conflict when there is change. Now it can be that there's a sense of wanting to hold on to what we are losing. There can be a sense of wanting to move forward more quickly into what we are gaining. But there's going to be the sense of conflict around the change that this moon is bringing and around the alignment that it is bringing us. Now, this change is going to be subtle. It's going to be like the changing of the seasons. All of a sudden, it just happens. Like you start to see the leaves changing. I mean, we're seeing it right now. If you're in New England, you see that the leaves are changing, that things are starting to change, and it just kind of like crept up on you. And so here, you're going to find that that's the same thing for us. There's this change that's creeping up on us, and we might be resistant to it. And we need to say why. We need to find out why. We need to find out where the hesitation comes from, the anger comes from, the frustration comes from, because the priestess here is telling us to take this power of this moon and really move forward with it, really create with it, dance with it, sing with it, be a part of it. You can dance and sing under the moon if you want to. That would be brilliant. But it's a sense of dancing and singing within a softer light. So often we think it has to be intense or else it doesn't count. It has to be powerful or else it isn't really gotten. And yet things can be subtle and calm and gentle and life-changing. And so during this time, we're going to be looking at this very openly and very honestly. We're going to see the sun shining within us, but we're also going to see ourselves as a reflection of the sun's light, just as the moon is. And so as we reflect this light, we reflect our own power. We see things more powerfully within us. We look at the way that we need to move forward. We look at what has been holding us back, and we release what needs to be released, what needs to fly away, what needs to be reborn. And as we do so, we have the red roses and the white roses. We have the toad hiding underneath there. We have the sense of beautiful becoming and beautiful mastery leading us forward, purity of intention and passion of soul. It then brings us to our hearts. And our hearts are a little bit complicated, as hearts usually are. And we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is the poverty mentality. The Five of Pentacles is saying you're not worthy of walking into warmth and comfort and abundance. This is self-sabotaging. We could be surrounded by multi-million dollars worth of things, and yet we could be self-sabotaging, right? So it doesn't discriminate. What it brings forward are the coping mechanisms that we've had since childhood that try to hold us back. It brings us forward in a way that makes us look at things and say, where's the poverty coming from? Was I raised in poverty? Did we always not have enough? Or did we have enough, but there were always fights over money? Always fights over money. Money became a thing of power, a thing of abuse, a thing of hurt, a thing of pain, a thing of authority, a thing of, control. What is it that we're bringing forward to the table when it comes to money? Were we in relationships where money became a weapon, right? Or where our worth was never seen or only counted a certain way? And so the Five of Pentacles comes in and says, where's the trauma here? And how does it bring drama into our lives? How is it continuously hurting us and keeping us out in the cold and making us feel like we only have rags for shoes as we walk on snow that makes them wet and cold and freezes us? And so during this time, we look at what's denying us and we look at why. And we open up our hearts to it. We could do a very intense, very powerful exercise of saying, I open my heart to my poverty, and just meditating on that or focusing on the heart chakra as we do so. I open my heart to the poverty that holds me back, to the hurt and the pain that has defined me for too long, for the doubts and the fears and the denial of self, and see what comes forward. Because we have, excuse me, we have the Seven of Swords, and we have the secrets being revealed. This is a time where if you want answers, if you want to propel yourself forward, if you want to embrace your success, this is the time to do so. This is the time to be like, this is me, this is what I want, this is what I need, because the lies are falling away. We're seeing things as untruths. We're seeing things as harmful, hateful, objects that have stayed within our hearts for too long. You know what a curse is? When people say, oh, I'm cursed. A curse is negative words spoken over us, spoken over our caregivers, spoken over their caregivers, and that perpetuated throughout the generations. And so here we're stopping. We're stopping that, and we're saying, I see the lies as they are. I see the knowledge and the wisdom that is not knowledge and is not wisdom and will not be leading me forward to what I need within my life. I see myself releasing. I see myself empowered. I see myself emboldened. The lies come out. There's no more sneaking. There's no more hiding. There's no more, finding myself unworthy. It brings us then in the public arena to the death card. Now, Capricorn, people can very well say, wow, you've changed. Wow, this is different. You are very different. And you are going to be, because there's a dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new, the passionate power that opens up the door, that gives you the insight and the clarity and the fire and the focus that you absolutely need to claim your wealth, to claim what you desire in life, to claim your abundance. With the death card, we have this sense of, I've changed. I've changed through fire. I've changed through purification. I've changed through the old me burning away and the new one coming out of the ashes, very much like the phoenix. If you've ever watched a fire or made a fire outside, you see the flames dancing, and it's very easy to see where the story of the phoenix came from. It's very easy to see why we're so drawn to it too, because it's warmth and it's protection and it's, purity, because it purifies our food by being able to cook it. it washes away so much. Fire burns away so much. And we're going to see that we're very intrigued by that. We're very intrigued by the burning away of the negativity that is around us, that is holding us back. Now we can become kind of obsessed with this, because that's what Mercury squared Pluto brings to the table. It brings a little bit of obsession as we dive deeper into it. Don't dive so deep that you forget to see the optimism, the blessings, the good news, the good fortune, the beauty that is a part of you. But look at what is burning away. Look at what is transforming, and look at why you're transforming, and call forward that power, because it's absolutely astounding. And it brings you to the Ace of Swords. It brings you to God's Source Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing you a gift of clarity, Capricorn, handing you a gift of insights and ideas, and cutting through doubts and fears and negativity, and saying, no more. This is not what defines me. This is not what I need, nor is it what I want. I am moving forward in a way that is astounding, and this gets to be my calling card. This gets to be my power, my insight, my ideas. And so we use the only weapon within the tarot. We use the sword, the weapon of the mind, the weapon of the voice, the weapon of the calling forward of truth as we see it at this time. And that sets us so apart. And it brings us to this place of fierceness in the public arena, fierceness of focus. It moves us to see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At our root, blossoming. Working through your fears. We are blossoming into the people we want to be, into the people we need to be, because we are working through our fears, because we are not held back by the doubts and the fears and the negativity, excuse me, any longer. And we're answering the call of our own souls, of our own selves. It moves us to release. A win-win outcome is a forecast. So as we're releasing, we're aligned more deeply with the full moon in Libra. Okay, with the new moon in Libra. This is the full moon in Libra right here. So we have on the 6th of October, this sense of balance guiding us forward, this sense of moving towards success and opening up doors. We're releasing the negativity that has held us back. And it moves us then to trust. And it says here, trust. Your dreams need a practical plan. Trust in the power of your dreams, but also trust in the power of practicality. It's setting down a plan and roots and ideas and instincts and showing the way forward. It moves us to focus. It moves us to a place where in the public arena, we start to focus and our energy gains momentum. We start to focus and the doors start to open. We start to see a powerful and very real change entering into our lives. The energy gains momentum as our dreams have this practical plan, as we start to lay down the roots of our dreams and what we desire and what we need, and a stepping away of the conflict of how to bring this forward, and really embracing by the light of this moon and the power of ourselves, the manifestation of what is greatly and deeply desired. The subconscious energy of this moon is extremes. Step out of your comfort zone. We're going to be hit with extremes, and that makes perfect sense. Again, because of Mercury squared Pluto, we're going to go from one extreme to another. We're going to dive deeply into things. We're going to want to know the nitty gritty about everything, and we can find ourselves heading to extremes also because of the power of dreams within the realm of Pisces in and of itself, with it being ruled by Neptune. We're going to find that we feel things, we see things. Everything is so much more intense during this time. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of the way you usually define things and step into the way that Spirit is guiding you now. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is divine wisdom. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. Divine wisdom is guiding us forward. There is a sense of we're getting insight, ideas. Listen to that little Jiminy Cricket voice inside of you. It's going to be Spirit leading you forward, opening up the door, saying there's more here than meets the eye. Don't miss it. it brings us then to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the Prince of Wands. That's fire and determination saying, act now, act now, act now. Don't think things through. Don't embrace the practical. Don't trust yourself. Or maybe you trust yourself just a little bit too much. Just go for it. Just do something. And what Spirit is saying here is don't let yourself be taken in by people like this or get wrapped up in energy like this, because you're going to need balance. You're going to need to root yourself to the ground. You're going to need to see what is needed and then move forward slowly and steadily, but fiery and determinedly. So this is going to be a time where we need to kind of just step back a bit and embrace more of the earth energy than the fire energy. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, and that's the Empress. Now we have the Emperor and the Empress right here. This is a soulmate connection, a true love connection. This is power. We are astoundingly powerful during this time. Let nobody talk you out of this power, this intensity, and this focus. There's a sense of beauty here. There's a sense of whimsy here. There's a sense of expression and beauty. Move forward in it. You're claiming a power again you never thought you had and you never thought you lost. And as you claim it, it's going to be like meeting an old friend and being hesitant at first. It's like, oh my gosh, can I? Like, should I introduce myself? That type of thing. Or should I say, oh my gosh, I recognize you? The Empress comes in and it's like, claim that recognition, claim that beauty, claim that path forward. It's going to be astounding. In the description box below, I have I think it's called The Thunder of Truth, The Perfect Mind. I can't ever remember, but it's down there and it follows that sort of title. Listen to it. Listen to it because it's all about the contradiction of what we are, especially as we embrace the sacred feminine and as the sacred feminine comes into our lives. So that's going to be really powerful for us. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and we have the craftsman of air. We're using our voice, we're using our reason, we're using our understanding to create, to move things forward, to make the connections. This is going to be a time for us where if we can step out of the discord that we have, step out of that little kind of sour note of transformation that's within us, that kind of sense of, I don't know if I'm in the right spot, we step into everything we need, everything that we are, everything that we want, and the puzzle pieces start to come together. Our voice gains power, our insight gains, focus and determination and greatness. And it moves us then to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the Queen of Wands. Again, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It connects us with our passion and our fire and our insight and our intensity and our ideas. It connects us with the Emperor, but it embodies the Empress. This is going to be a time where we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves. This is going to be a time where we're not afraid to embrace new beginnings and to look at things with a sense of, I do not need to claim all the credit here. I do not need to be the center of attention. What I need to be is the person who gets things done, the person who moves things forward, the person who opens up the doors. And then it brings us to our subconscious public message, or public self. And that's the Hermit, wisdom. Stepping back and stepping into the silence opens up so many doors for us, saying to the conscious world, I see you, I get you, I understand you, but I need to see and get me first. To be able to say, this is what I want, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what I desire for my life, and this is what I love. And so the Hermit comes and it calms us, it centers us, and it focuses us. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy. Excuse me. A rising of our positive energy as we embrace the power that this moon has to offer. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn, and may you have a blessed moon.